Hey everyone, happy July. Ron Milligan with Remax Select coming to you with the latest for the close-in condo market statistics. So this is just for condominiums that are roughly from the North Pearl down to the South Waterfront and from the hills, the West Hills, over to the river. So the long and short of it is things seem to be holding steady now for about 4 months. Things are not looking fantastic, but they're also not looking terrible. The number of active listings at mid-July, so today, this is when I pulled the statistics, so July 15th, number of active listings is 341. Last month, mid-June, 350. Month before, 348. Mid-April, 362. So we're kind of staying in the same area over the last 4 months. So not much has changed there. The number of pending listings showing the buyer demand is a little lower than it was in mid-June. It's 119 versus 133. Mid-May it was a 122, 126 in April. So a little lower than what we've seen recently, but not significantly, and I don't think that's really telling us much, except that we're hitting July and August, and we tend to have a slowdown in the Portland market after the frenzy of early spring and the first 2 quarters of the year, which are typically our frenzy, our highest and most active months. So it typically slows down a little bit July of August, and we're seeing the exact same thing on the whole metro area market statistics. So not too much of a surprise. I don't think it tells us anything too much. Inventory in months, which is that measure of buyer demand and seller supply. So the way we think about it is, given no new listings, how long would it take to sell everything on the market at the current rate of sales? So the number right now, if we're doing an average number of sales per month over the last 12 months, we end up with around 4.5 months of inventory. So a balanced market is somewhere between 4 and 6 months of inventory. That doesn't look bad. But if we are looking at just the most recent inventory, the most recent sales, so the last 30 days of sales, because we know that over the last year, through most of last summer, it was a really rough market for the condo market due to the virus. So if we're just looking at the last 30 days, we had 102 sales, and that gives us an inventory months of 3.34 months of inventory. That's really getting into seller's market territory. That is the market where it favors the sellers, and sellers are doing a lot of the driving. That being said, I'm just going to be really cautionary about this, because listings that are going on the market are still sitting a long time in the condo market, and they're not getting a lot of showings. So that might say to us that the inventory isn't very high, and people aren't just dumping or flooding the market with their properties and trying to get rid of them. But also that the buyer demand isn't super high, and the inventory is not really making any headwind. To that point, the average days on market for the properties that sold in the last 30 days was 45 days on market, and the median was 56. So that's a long time when you think about, in the single family market where things are selling on an average or on the median, I think it was 5 days on the market. And that's pretty typical. We usually list things on a Thursday or Friday, and then hold our open houses, get all our offers, get as many folks through the house as possible, and then we do our review and negotiate with the final folks that we want to negotiate with, and have something go under contract on Monday or Tuesday. So like 5 days on the market is pretty typical for the single family home market. The average sale price, so looking at the first 6 months of last year compared to the first 6 months of this year, so 2020 versus 2021, average sale price is up 8.3%. So last year it was $469,733. This year for our sample it was $508,752. So that's good that we're seeing an increase rather than stagnation or decrease. But keep in mind that for the Portland metro area on the whole, when we're doing that same comparison, we're talking about, you know, close to 20% increase. So it's not doing as well, but it's doing okay. So that's what's going on in the market. If you have a question about what's going on in your building and what's selling and why it's selling versus what's not selling and why it's not selling, just reach out to me. And if you're interested in buying a condominium, give me a call. You know, buying condominiums is not as easy as buying single family homes because you have this whole other financial consideration with the homeowners association and what's going on there, special assessments coming up, that sort of stuff. So if you have your eye on the building and you think, hey, you know, condos are still on sale, this might be a good time to buy, reach out to me, let me know, and I'd be happy to have a conversation with you. All right, we'll see you next month.